Alright, thanks for joining me today, and today we're looking at our second menu in Case B. This is an AmeriQual packaged MRE. This is menu 14, Mexican style rice and bean bowl, and this is a good menu. I think all around, I think Case B has a little more filling and a diverse menu selection, but for some reason I'm particular towards Case A. But I'm starting to really warm up to exclusively getting Case B. But I do like the variety. It's nice to cycle through 24 different menus. And the only thing I'm not crazy about is Case A is pork free. So there's going to be less of the hearty meat meals. But that's how I roll. You do you. Let me know in the comments what cases you like. You know, also I'm kind of curious what interests you in these MREs. If you're new to them and you're watching this series, what kind of brought you to these? I was speaking to a commenter that watches my channel, and he wanted to try these MREs, but he always goes towards the Mountain House when he buys camping meals. And he reached out to me asking me, hey, are these the same kind that we get in the surplus stores? And I kind of told him, yeah, they are. But if you really want to get fresh and cheaper meals, you know, considering MREs being cheaper, I kind of pointed him in the right direction. I don't know if he purchased them. I get nothing out of it. I'm just kind of pointing you in the direction. I picked up these cases from a particular seller on eBay. They were fantastically priced, $2.50 a meal, $78 delivered. If you're interested, like I said, I got no affiliation. I don't get any kickbacks. I'm just pointing you guys in the right direction if you're interested to have a good experience. So let's get this open. This is an AmeriQual, so it is double bagged. Normally they come loose, but AmeriQual actually double bags them. So we're going to open this up, and right here we have our Mexican style rice and bean bowl. One pouch, 227 grams weight, 8 ounces, 230 calories, 47 grams of carbohydrates, 9 grams of protein, 4 grams of sugar, 2 grams of dietary fiber. This is a really good side. I mean main, not a side. Then we have our pretzel nuggets, honey mustard, and onion flavor. You know, I keep forgetting about these, and every time I cycle through Case B, they pop up, and I'm like, these are such a treat. 1 ounce, 28 grams, 120 calories, 21 grams of carbs, 2 grams of protein. Check that out if you've ever seen these before. I know the glare is kind of... Pretzel nuggets, honey mustard, and onion flavoring. These are great. Alright, so this looks pretty good. We have a toilet paper, we have salt, we have a hand towelette, we have a non-dairy coffee creamer, we have a Bill's Brew, we have a cinnamon chewing gum, we have a non-calorie sweetener, and sugar. This is what I like to see, a full accessory packet. Now, it would have been really nice if there was actually a Tabasco sauce in here or a picante. That would have been amazing. Cran raspberry flavored First Strike nutritious energy bar, 2.3 grams, 65 ounces, 260 calories, 50 grams of carbs, 2 grams of protein. These are a treat. I like these. Crackers, plain, non-salted, 1.33 ounces or 37.8 grams, 170 calories, 28 grams of carbs, 4 grams of protein. Chocolate protein drink powder. I have a love-hate relationship with these chocolate protein drink powders. I would really love to see a wider dispersion of these drinks. When they put a chocolate protein drink powder, I think they should really cycle them through either a cappuccino or maybe there was a banana protein shake. I think it's like a banana strawberry. We need some more flavors instead of just this. There's a hazelnut, which is really good, but we need a little more variety in these protein drinks. It's always the same one, and if you're not a big fan of these chocolate protein, you're losing out on so much protein, calories, carbs. So like I said, 280 calories, 50 grams of carbs, 14 grams of protein, with a nice ingredients list for the vitamins. Vitamin D, calcium, iron, potassium. Good amount of potassium. All right. Our MRE spoon. Peanut butter, 1 ounce. Ugh. Starting to get sick of peanut butter. We had so many peanut butters in case A that I'm actually sick of peanut butter. 160 calories, 6 grams of carbs, 7 grams of protein. Look at that. Remember I was complaining? What would have made this perfect? Well, there you go. Look at that. Powdered hot sauce. I'm happy now. We have a hot beverage bag. When you see a hot beverage bag, you should automatically assume you got coffee, because that's what it's for. It's not to mix up your drink mix. They already come in a pouch. This is for your coffee. That's everything in the bag. And our flameless ration heater. This is most likely going to work because this is fairly new and it's been stored properly, but we're not going to use it this time because you've all seen how we heat these up. If you didn't, watch my other videos from case A, 1 through 12. We go warming them up single, warming them up double. When I mean double is you'll have extra one of these if you're warming up your mains in water. I actually open the bag. I pull this heater out. I stuff our main in there. We put another heater on the other side, so we're actually using 2 heaters. We fill it up double past the fill line. When I mean double is if we fill it to here, now we fill it to here because we're utilizing twice the amount of water. And I'm telling you, these things get smoking hot. If one is questionable, the second one will definitely warm up. That's everything. Let's get this out on a tray. I'm going to start warming this up in some warm water, and we'll be right back. Stand by. All right, we're back. I trayed everything up, and it is looking like a fine, proper meal. We have our Mexican-style rice and bean bowl, our honey pretzel nuggets, honey mustard onion flavor, regular non-salted crackers, our chocolate protein drink powder. We have our energy cran raspberry flavored energy first strike bar. We have our powdered hot sauce. I opened up the accessory packet. We have our Lighthouse toilet paper, 20 sheets, a packet of salt, 0-calorie sweetener, our moist towelette, cinnamon chiclets, our non-dairy creamer, Bill's Brew, and sugar, and peanut butter. So let's get this going. We're going to first start off by making our Army chocolate mochaccino. So I'm going to take this protein drink. We're going to use warm water, and we're not going to fill it up to the line here. This line is a half a canteen of drink powder. Actually, no, it's 1/3 of a canteen, 8 ounces. So yeah, we're gonna fill it up to this line. I thought this was a 16 ounce. So we're gonna open this up. We're gonna let all that powder drop to the bottom. I'm gonna stage that right there for a minute. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add everything into it. Now you could have the protein drink on the side, enjoy it, and have a cup of coffee. What I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate everything into this. Put our sugar, put our non-dairy creamer, all right, non-dairy creamer, and our coffee. And we're going to make a chocolate coffee protein drink. The Bill's Brew. And to spice it up even more, I threw the peanut butter in the simmering water, so it's practically liquid right now. And we're going to put that in there too. And this thing does not want to rip. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this whole packet in there like that and just squeeze it all in. This is going to incorporate really nicely because the peanut butter is like liquid right now. There we go. All gone. 1 ounce. Now we're going to take our hot water. I can't see where we are. Yeah, we're right there. And this is warm water. Yep, that's perfect. Now I squeezed a little air out because I'm using warm water, so the steam is going to want to inflate that bag. And be careful because this bag is smoking hot. And I'm going to also knead it because we did put peanut butter in that. And we want that really to incorporate nicely. And that is really feeling good. I don't feel any clumps. I don't feel any powder. So we're going to just give that another good shake. Okay, and we're going to just let that sit there for a moment and incorporate. Let's see what our honey mustard pretzel looks like. Honey mustard onion. They don't give you a lot, but they are really good. Look at that. Oh, these are such a treat. And I really wish they would give you more than 1 ounce. But they're watching the carbs and the calories. Everything is balanced out properly. So I get it. But, you know, sometimes it would be nice just to get a little more. I also threw this in the water because this was super hard. Now it's super soft. And these are a treat. These really are a treat. And when you warm these up, they actually become so pliable. Now, I think I might have warmed this up a little too much because it is really giving me problems coming out. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. It's like taffy, and it really does smell good. Very sweet, tart, cranberry flavor. Our crackers. Got a nice hiss on them. They had a good vacuum seal. And I don't really care if we break these crackers because they're going to go in this. There we go. Yep, they look good. And look at that. They actually have a really nice toasting on the edge. I've never seen that before. All right. Let's see what our protein drink, coffee mocha peanut butter protein drink looks like. Give it a final shake. Nothing leaked out. Yeah, that looks really good. Check that out. Look how rich and hot and warm that looks. No peanut butter clumps. Ah, and the chocolate and peanut butter aroma that I'm catching off that looks really good. All right, I warm this up. This is smoking hot right now. Rip that open like that. Now, for viewers at home, I'm using a tray, but everything you would eat out of basically the containers that are supplied here. In the field, you would just eat this right out of a pouch, and it works. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. I want you guys to see what all this looks like, you know, and have a uniform presentation. So that's why I use a tray. I know a lot of people don't eat with trays in the field. You know, I get comments, I've been eating these for 30 years in the military and I never used a tray. Well, you're not filming them either. So this is for the viewers. I've eaten plenty of these out of the bags, and it's so much more nicer when you can actually see what you're eating. Wow, look at that steaming. Now, looks like we have some green chilies. Let's actually look at the ingredients list here. We have water, pinto beans, black beans, long grain rice, brown rice, corn, green chilies, salt, diced tomatoes in tomato juice, food starch, chili peppers, paprika, onion, garlic. We got some MSG, dehydrated green bell peppers, red peppers, salt, sugar, corn oil, and spices. Quite the menu going on here. Look at this. This really does look great. Got the corn. We got the two different kind of beans. I see the green chilies. The rice looks really good. The aroma that's coming off this is absolutely amazing. And let's get the hot sauce on here. Look at that. This is like a chili that's roasted and actually then ground down. And I don't mean like red pepper flakes. This actually looks like a chili pepper. Look at that. See that? It actually looks like a legit chili, hot chili that was roasted and then ground down. So this is definitely a treat, and it definitely goes with it. So I'm going to be putting a lot of this on here. You know what? We're going to just put all of it. What the hell? All of it. All right. This looks fabulous. I'm curious. I've never had this with the crackers. I always end up putting the peanut butter on the crackers. So let's take a bite with some of this on a cracker. So we have the different textures going on here. That is really good. The Mexican style rice and beans are really a complex flavor combination. You got a lot going on here. And you know, for people that are saying US MREs are absolutely the worst, I beg to differ. There's plenty of rations out there that are nowhere as complex flavor-wise and don't even come close to having the ingredient list that this does. Now, I'm not saying that they're top shelf, and we could always do better for our troops, our service members, our military. But this is very complex, and for something that is shelf stable, I think this is the winner right here. Look at that. And you know, I really do have to point out that that powdered hot sauce, that is chilies, because it brings such a unique smoky flavor to this dish, yet it's not overly hot. Like, I put that whole packet in there, and if I would have done that with crushed red pepper, I'd be choking right now from the heat. Or Tabasco, that Tabasco, you know, sometimes that vinegar kick, that heat, it starts becoming a little overwhelming, overpowers the dish. This truly accents these items right here. That is a winner. If you're not particular towards hot sauce, I would say at least try some on a spoonful. It really does bring out the flavors of the meal. That is really good. It's a little thick. Tell you the truth, when I make this in the field, I usually boil the pouch for 10 minutes because this is a very thick meal. When you feel the pouch cold, it's pretty solid. I mean, look how thick this is. All right? I'm holding it on a spoon, and it's taken a good minute for it to fall over. I usually add, after I warm the main up and I tear it open, the water that I use to boil it in, I'll add maybe an ounce of water to it and actually mix it up. And it'll become a little bit watery, not to the point where water's puddling up, but it really does stretch out the flavors and make it more enjoyable in the field. Because in the field, it's sometimes hard if you're using the FRH to bring this up to temperature, being how thick it is. And if it's cold outside, that FRH is going to be struggling. I always add water to this just to make it a little more runnier. If you had some tortillas, this would be amazing in a tortilla, being how thick it is. Yeah, I think I'm becoming a little more particular to case B. You know, you forget when you cycle through these MREs every once in a while, you forget the menus and what came in them. And every time you experience a case, you're like, you know what? This is really good. How could I have forgotten this? I just can't get over how the powdered hot sauce, the chilies, really bring out the flavor in this meal. And it's not overwhelming heat. It's more flavor with a mild heat profile. All right, let's try this one without crackers. Really good texture. The beans aren't mushy. The corn is really nice. I keep popping out the corn. It really accentuates, has a good texture. The chilies are fantastic. If you're not a chili fan, you might not like this, but this is spot on for Mexican style rice and bean bowl. This is it. And this goes so well with crackers or a bread. This really does bring out the flavors. I think I had this menu maybe, I don't know, 7, 8 times, and I've never had them with the crackers. I might have, I don't want to say never, I might have had them with the crackers when I've heated this up in the field and added water so it was a little more watery. And then I crumbled the crackers, put them in the pouch and eat it. Put the hot sauce in there. But I don't think I've ever had it like this. Thick on a cracker. That is fantastic. I got to revisit this menu more often because it is a hidden surprise in that box. All right, let's let's try this Protein Army peanut butter mochaccino. Very thick. Has a wonderful scent of peanut butter. Everything incorporated perfectly. Wow. What a rich peanut butter taste. That is really good. Again, I'm not a fan of these protein drinks, but when they're warm and you actually mix the coffee and the peanut butter in there, top notch. They're almost bearable now. I'm actually going in for a second swig here. That is really good. I think that's how I'm going to have these from now on. It would be nice to get some of the alternatives. The hazelnut, the fruit ones. I believe there is a like a strawberry banana one. I have yet to have that, but they are really good. Let's get some of that peanut butter chocolate out of this spoon. All right, let's finish this up. This is getting very thick as it's getting cold. This is so good. Very filling because of how thick it is. Very filling, but very hearty and very tasty. Wow, talk about filling between that protein drink with the coffee and the peanut butter, and then this meal with one cracker and the beans and the rice, chilies. So filling. All right, let's give this wow, cran raspberry first strike bar a try. It did cool down, so it's firm again. We've got a pretty decent amount of cranberry, raspberries. There's some it's like a Rice Krispie puff in there. They're very chewy, but I have to say they are very pleasant. My favorite are the mocha and these cran raspberry. Not a big fan of the chocolate. It's a very rich chocolate flavor, but these are really nice. Great pocket snack, decent amount of protein and calories, and these are my favorite. These are actually just like the Schneider pretzels. You don't get a lot, but they are quite large. They got a really decent mustard and onion flavor. Kind of subtle, but just enough. They're not salted, but it's definitely a nice snack. All right, well, there's not much anything else to say here. We had our Mexican style rice and bean bowl, which was amazing. The flavors, the complexity. You throw in that powdered hot sauce, which is almost like a roasted chili grind. That really made this pop. Cran raspberry first strike bar. Always a pleasure to see those. We had our regular crackers. They were nice. We had our chocolate protein drink, which we spiked with our Bill's Brew, creamer, sugar, and then we put our peanut butter in there. That's a hit. I think from now on, if I have coffee and peanut butter and a protein shake, that's how I'm making them. Great, great drink. Easy to get down when it's warm. When it's cold, that's a different story. It doesn't really mix well. Tell me what you think about this menu. Are you trying these menus? Are you looking for the MREs? Do you want me to point you in the right direction? You really got to try these out. And I mean, right now you could find a case A and a case B 2025, possibly 2026 inspection for about $70, $80 delivered, 24 meals. That's around $3 a meal, depending on how much you're paying. So I think that these are worth it every once in a while for an emergency meal. Maybe you're going out camping, fishing. These are great. Try them out. Let me know what you think. All right, our next menu that we're going to be reviewing, and this is a heavy one. Menu 15, Mexican style chicken stew. This is really a powerhouse meal. If you could feel how much this one weighs, there's probably at least 2 mains in here. And I'm drawing a blank to whatever else, but we'll find out when we open these up. All right, I look forward to reviewing this one and sharing it with everyone. Again, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you like about these. Let me know what you don't like about these. Throw them in the comments. If you have questions, throw them out there. I answer every single comment. Thank you again, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.